Batman the Animated Series has always been a cornerstone of my love for the character, shaping my obsession with Batman from late-night comic binges to devouring novelizations.
If only I'd done something differently. If only I could have warned them. But there isn't anything you could have done.
While I don't claim to be an authority on the lore, I consider myself pretty well versed. So when I heard Amazon was reviving a similar concept with Batman Caped Crusader, I was both intrigued and cautious. Some of my doubts vanished, though, when I learned Bruce Timm, the mastermind behind the animated series, would be the showrunner, supported by producing credits from J.J. Abrams and the Batman director, Matt Reeves.
This new iteration is very much born of a noir sensibility.
I quickly burned through the episodes, and here's what I think.
The kings don't run this court anymore. The jester does.
Bang! Look out! We could be looking at
an all-out gang war on the streets of Gotham.
Caped Crusader isn't a continuation of the animated series.
My idea is basically to say, okay, it's 1990 again. I get to do what I want to do this time, and I got JJ and Matt backing me up.
The iconic Art Deco design from Timm is back, but this show is much more of what the studio calls a reimagining than a direct sequel.
One of my elevator pitch versions of this show is that it's more Batman the Animated Series than Batman the Animated Series.
We follow a younger Bruce Wayne as he battles Gotham's familiar villains and its deeply entrenched corruption. The episodic format weaves into a larger, serialized narrative, reminiscent of something like Deep Space Nine, a reference for my fellow Star Trek fans.
Nerd alert!
At the center is Hamish Linklater as Batman and Bruce Wayne.
Not while Dent's on this rampage.
But sir...
If I did set Harvey on this path, it's up to me to stop him.
I was impressed by his work in Midnight Mass, but was initially skeptical about his casting here. Surprisingly, Linklater is the standout of the series.
Dent put his thumb on the scale in court sometimes, but he did care about justice. You need to reach that part of him.
His Bruce Wayne might be a tad too upbeat at times.
Well, this is embarrassing. You started the party without me.
You made it, Bruce!
And so did you.
But his Batman is a revelation.
I failed tonight. That can't happen again.
His line delivery is borderline psychopathic.
I was thinking about what you said earlier. About seeing Dr. Quinzel.
The coffee's cold.
Adding a chilling edge to the character.
You falsified the reports. Who paid you?
Are you crazy? Pull me up!
Give me a name.
It is a fresh take, diverging from Conroy's iconic portrayal or something like Bale's ferocity.
I never knew. I don't know. I swear to God.
Swear to me!
However, this intriguing angle on Batman's psyche isn't fully explored, which feels like a missed opportunity. One criticism of the show is Batman's limited presence. The cast is extensive, featuring Jim and Barbara Gordon, Harvey Bullock, Renee Montoya, Harvey Dent, Flash, Alfred, and more, leading to a broader exploration of Gotham's ecosystem. The reimagining extends beyond Batman, with characters like Alfred being more of an accessory to Bruce, often treated coldly, which at times feels quite jarring.
I needed answers.
Yes, so you said.
The situation's escalating and you're wasting my time, Pennyworth!
Jim Gordon, obviously a huge part of the Batman lore, is another miss for me.
So, are hired killers victims of circumstance too?
Really?
The writing really felt standard, and I didn't feel this juggled sense of misaligned purpose with his character in the system against Batman's unlawful methods.
You're just one man?
Now we're two.
Need 5 minutes alone.
No! There's no time! We have clear shots! Dent is in there with them! We have to save Dent! I have to save Dent!
The Penguin is reintroduced as a female character in the season premiere, a twist I didn't mind, but the plot itself lacked engagement and felt flat.
He was my favorite. Guess that makes you my favorite now.
The first episode in particular suffered from some of the weakest dialogue and line delivery in the series.
Bruce! Late as always. What was the problem this time?
Harvey, the only problem is that you and I are at a party, and neither of us has a drink.
In fact, at times throughout the series, the dialogue, in particular the audio, seems to be over-processed, leading towards this sort of AI sound that drove me nuts.
Come on. You know this kid's been set up to take the fall.
Yeah, but we moved fast too. Made some of that luck on our own.
Diedrich Bader, who once voiced Batman.
How do you know this? How could you possibly?
I know because I watched it happen.
Returns as Harvey Dent / Two-Face, delivering a stellar performance.
No! I had him! I had him! Why did you stop me? Why did you stop me?
His portrayal of Dent as a politician spiraling into madness is compelling, especially as the show explores Batman's own fractured psyche.
If we pretended everything was normal.
Yeah, that's the Bruce Wayne way, isn't it? The great pretender.
What does that mean?
Cape Crusader excels when it embraces its mature themes, not just in violence, but in tone. However, it sometimes falls back on predictable, villain of the week plots, diluting the overall impact. The show's attempts to keep you guessing often feel like a Scooby-Doo mystery, but the reveals are rarely surprising. For those familiar with the first few seasons of Smallville, will become accustomed to this storytelling, in particular to establishing the superhero's early career. I thought at this point, especially with the flooded market of superhero storytelling, this would be largely avoided, but I guess not.
Anything useful?
Some sort of silicate. Peculiar.
There's been some fan backlashes over these changes, like the female penguin, but honestly, those don't bother me. A particular scene featuring Batman holding a gun sparked controversy online, but I found it was well handled and taken out of context by the critics, and overall I liked what they did with it. In the end, Cape Crusader left me both entertained and frustrated. The series tries to honor the animated series while also carving out its own identity, but it struggles to fully commit to either path. The result is an uneven mix of brilliance and mediocrity.
Swish!
Hamish Linklater's Batman is a highlight.
Tell me everything. Now.
And the show's exploration of Bruce Wayne's character offers a fresh take that I hope they delve deeper into in future seasons. If the series can move away from its reliance on formulaic plots and embrace its darker and more complex themes,
you aren't actually people. You're cancer.
There's potential for a much stronger second season.
Those are terrible odds. But I'll take them.
Overall, it is worth the try, Batman fan or not.